continues to evolve. Each year, I'm reminded that it's impossible to ignore the undeniable power of face-to-face interaction. Kicking off with this great breakfast, this great tradition with Mama, leading into the media preview, our Black Tie Charity Gala, First Look for Charity, and the entire public show. In a world dominated by digital technology, where almost every aspect of our lives can be managed from the comfort of our homes, there is still something uniquely irreplaceable about that in-person experience, especially when it comes to buying a car. Even in today's digital world, I'd argue there is no better place to showcase your latest products than an auto show. The Chicago Show offers countless opportunities for consumers to interact with the latest vehicles and their cutting-edge technology, creating an immersive experience. This year, we've added a brand new overlanding Chicago area to highlight the outdoor adventure lifestyle, including manufacturer displays of specialty vehicles, anchored by Toyota. Thank you to our Toyota partners for that. Upfitting vendors and off-road accessories. We're bringing even more family fun to the show this year with a brand new family zone, featuring interactive fun for kids of all ages, a Power Wheels track, and other activities to keep the little ones engaged and create those lasting memories at the show. Adding these new and exciting activations is just one example of how the Chicago Auto Show team continues to drive value for exhibitors and consumers alike. Evidence of the show's evolution and growth is the fact that we've added 3 new brands to the show floor this year, expanding the brand portfolio as well as our footprint. So that's Polestar, Rivian, and VinFast. Brands that clearly see their participation as an opportunity to build brand awareness as they're coming to the market. Tesla and Lucid will return this year as well, and they were first-time participants in 2024. Tesla has also expanded their footprint here at the 2025 Auto Show. Ford brings back its wildly popular Bronco Mountain Test Track, and Jeep returns this year to celebrate Camp Jeep at the Chicago Auto Show, a fan favorite of 20 years. Moreover, as the auto show industry continues to shift to EVs and other alternative fuel options, auto shows serve as a vital education platform for widespread adoption of these new technologies. Chicago Drives Electric, designed for consumers to experience the latest electric vehicles, returns in the form of not 1, but 2 EV test tracks this year. We've added more brands to that track, featuring a dozen total, including BMW, Cadillac, Chevrolet, Dodge, Ford, Jeep, Kia, Polestar, Rivian, Toyota, VinFast, and Volkswagen. That was a mouthful. The first year we held our EV track, we had just 2 brands, so it's great to see the growth of that. And outdoors, consumers can jump behind the wheel and test drive a variety of vehicles on city streets, ranging from Alfa Romeo, Chrysler, Dodge, Fiat, Ford, Jeep, Ram, Subaru, and Tesla. And I'm personally very proud of our show this year, and I hope you all enjoyed as well. Now I have the immense privilege to introduce the new Mama President. This individual also happens to double as a Chicago Auto Show's Senior Director of Marketing and Strategy, Drive Chicago radio co-host, ultimate team player, the glue that holds it all together, a creative thinker, among many other hats that he wears. He now fills a prestigious role of Mama President. Congrats to Jim O'Brill.
On behalf of the Midwest Automotive Media Association and the rest of the Mountain Board, Zach Pradle, Kelly Enright, Sharice Threewood, Allison Phelps, Paul Harold, and our President Emeritus, Robert Duffer, I want to thank you all for being here. I'm honored to be in this unique position as Mama President, but also a member of the Chicago Auto Show team. I've been coming to this show since I was a kid, and I've always been in awe of the spectacle that is the auto show. As I know I'm in a room full of auto people, you can probably relate to those times coming to the show when the goal was to collect as many auto brochures as possible. I remember bringing those home and tearing through them and cutting out pictures and pasting them on the walls. At least that's what I did with them. But while printed brochures don't exist much anymore in today's auto shows, I still see that same glimmer of excitement in my kids when they come to the show. They still have that same magic that I saw when they walked through the doors of the Chicago Auto Show. Only now they're taking pictures with their own phones. They're posting them on their social channels, and they're reminiscing by scrolling through them instead of cutting out and posting them on the walls. It's the same show at its core, but the way it's consumed versus how they are now how times have changed, and that's something that's hard to adjust as the auto industry continues this roller coaster of ups and downs. Outside of brands that have backed away from shows completely, media previews have certainly been hit hard. It's become harder and harder to get executives to come in town to align schedules for product debuts, which I know are two things that many media members look forward to coming to auto shows for. But it's part of the auto show's evolution that also falls within the world of digital evolution, just like those printed brochures. Ultimately, vehicles still need to be seen, and in person by both media and consumers. And this is one of the best places to do so, all under one roof. I've seen media hustle these floors over 2 days and capture content that goes far beyond the show floor here. It's become a great place for those content creators to capture comparison videos, first looks at vehicles, and before they hit dealers. And then from tracking those media statistics myself in my role at the auto show, I've seen over thousands of YouTube videos captured on these show floors last year alone, reaching over 40 million views. In addition, we've seen 50 million views tracked on top influencer accounts across Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. So the value is still here for media. It's not just about the debuts or just about executive interviews. There's a lot to be had on the show floor here. Though keep in mind that Chicago Auto Show is much more than today and tomorrow's media events. It continues for 10 more days with hundreds of thousands of consumers that will come through the doors and experience one of the largest automotive playgrounds that is around. They will get behind the wheel of outdoor test drives that Jem mentioned. They'll climb competing indoor mountains at Ford and Jeep, take rides in 12 different brands on an electric track, see the latest new vehicles. They'll even run the show floor, taste craft beer, partake in car culture through our overlanding exhibit or local car clubs. They can even audition for Wheel of Fortune here at the Chicago Auto Show. But before all that, we have a jam-packed day of media activities for you, and we have our annual First Look for Charity, where we will give away a 2025 Chevy Equinox EV and a 2025 Hyundai Palisade Calligraphy, which also happens to be a former Mama Family Vehicle of the Year from 2023. So speaking of those winners, let's get to Mama's favorites of 2024. Mama is currently made up of about 200 members from about 25 states, and Canada included, representing media outlets of all different kinds. Mama's favorites were introduced in 2023 and breaks down into 7 categories to reflect a broad interest in vehicles and segments and reflect immediate media impressions from our members have on vehicles that participate in signature events like our spring rally and our fall events. There are segment winners after each Mama Drive event, and at the end of the year, finalists from each event go through another round of voting by media members until we ultimately have our 7 finalists. This year we have a fresh batch of finalists after some strong competition, and those finalists are category winners, we will hand out those trophies at your displays later today. Award and driving season is right around the corner, and the 2025 Mama Spring Rally at Road America will start Tuesday, May 20th and run through Thursday, May 22nd. For media members, it's time to renew or sign up to become a Mama member. You need to do that now, and you must be an active member before April 1st in order to attend the rally. For our automotive partners, sponsorship spots are filling up faster than ever with the success of last year's rally. If you're interested in being involved, please find me or another Mama board member to do so. Last year we had over 100 automotive media drive 80 different vehicles at Road America, 2 off-road courses, street drives, autocross, 4 miles of fitness, and plenty of good times. The amount of activities and variety of vehicles packed into one 3-day event is unparalleled. In addition to the content shared by our members, press releases broadcasted by our automaker reps about our Mama's favorites. Awards helped us reach over 560 million in news and broadcast, and additional social content and rally content reached another 118 million, all from that rally alone. With 25 members, or with members in 25 states and Canada, this membership has quite a reach. We're also paying it forward in honor of founder and main Mama man Jim Matea. Under past Mama President Jill Simonillo's stewardship, the James L. Matea Memorial Scholarship Fund has an endowment worth $125,000 and is funded in perpetuity. The 2025 scholarship amount is $5,563, and if you're interested in donating, more information is available on our membership. Finally, I want to give a public thank you to our current President Emeritus, Robert Duffer. Under his leadership the past 2 years, we grew membership 14%, increased rally attendance, and saw ROI among the highest for sponsors. So on behalf of the Mama Board, we want to thank you, Rob. He's busy texting. A little something for you out here. Our keynote speaker, Jamie Gladstone, is an accomplished executive creative director with a diverse and dynamic career spanning over 2 decades in the creative industry. Beginning his journey in retail design, Jamie later transitioned into an experiential design where he specialized in crafting innovative and immersive brand experiences. His passion for pushing creative boundaries led him to oversee a portfolio of landmark projects for some of the world's leading brands such as Warner Brothers, Aston Martin, and Jaguar Land Rover. Notably, Jamie's leadership was instrumental in shaping Ford Motor Company's global events and production launches, blending cutting-edge design with storytelling to elevate the brand presence on a global status. Today, as an executive creative director with Zarnowski Collective in Plano, Texas, Jamie continues to lead the creative team with a focus on innovation, storytelling, and immersive experiences consistently elevating brands across industry. With a reputation for delivering bold, memorable work, he remains a visionary in the ever-evolving world of design and experiential marketing, specializing in automotive consumer events and media experiences. Welcome, Jamie Gladstone.
Listening to that, is there anything that I can't do? That was quite an accomplished list. But first of all, I want to thank Jennifer and her amazing team for inviting me here, and you, Mama. I'm looking at Matt, and he's saying, keep the energy levels up and be enthusiastic and really excited. But I'm really excited about being here in Chicago. It's a show I've done many, many times, and I've had a privileged career to design amazing auto shows and be part of what I consider to be the most exciting part of being in the car business. And I've done that over many, many years. So thank you, Jennifer, thank you, the team, and thank you, Mama. So as you heard, I work for Zarnowski Collective, and we are lucky enough to look after over 14 different automotive brands, many of whom are here, you'll see upstairs. But I look after this incredible team. We're based in Plano, and we look after Toyota and Lexus. And I manage this incredible team there. We're their experiential partner for Toyota and Lexus, and we do the motorsport program. We also do a big part of their dealer meeting, which is a really important part of their year. But we also design 50 auto shows, including this one. And we don't take it for granted. We know that we have to be on our A game all the time in order to keep that business. And I have to say, it's a great way to earn a living as a creative director designing auto shows. So I showed this slide. Okay, if I had a superpower, it would be this: the ability to sketch, to actually close my eyes and imagine what something might look like, and then very, very quickly put it down on paper. It's one of the purest forms of creative expression. This photograph is a hotel desk. It shows a whole bunch of sketches that I did, and this hotel was in Shanghai. I would get a phone call saying, can you get yourself to Shanghai and go meet the client? So I'd fly overnight, walk straight into the office, meet the client, and start talking about the brief. I'd go back to the hotel, go to bed at 7 o'clock in the evening, and wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and draw for 7 hours. I'd then literally have dozens and dozens of sketches. I'd go back to the office, we'd put them on the wall, and the client would come back 24 hours later and see the creative. And a lot of the time it wasn't right, but at least the client could say, well, no, it's not that. It could be something like this, or that's really cool. So you started that creative dialogue really, really quickly, and like I said, it's one of my superpowers. So as you can tell, I'm not from here. I was born in the UK. If you were brought up in the UK in the 1970s, everything that was cool came from America. Whether it was breakfast cereal or movies, or especially cars, they were just the best. And to a certain extent, they still are. My dad drove Fords, and he drove them because they were the coolest cars. He loved them, and he would have been so proud of the fact that later in my career, I got to move to Detroit and do all of the things that he would have loved. We also had these things, they were called motor shows. And they were so exciting. I think we were saying earlier, you know, as a young kid, you just got really, really excited about coming to the motor show. Because growing up when I did, you didn't see these cars. People didn't have them on the streets. You certainly didn't see a Ferrari. So the motor show was by far the best way to see these incredibly exotic and exciting products and get really close to them. So it was a really exciting time for me, and it made me want to be a designer. So I got into retail design, quite frankly, because it was just really exciting. And we were experiencing another incredible American thing. It was called the shopping center. I know it's hard to believe, but in 1980, we didn't have one. And we were busy developing shopping centres for every city in the UK. And I loved doing it. And because I could sketch, because I could take, and they were sketched. We couldn't render, we didn't have computers. We were literally drawing massive shopping centres and design. So I did that, but I graduated to other forms of retail. I did fashion retail, high-speed retail, but I especially did department stores. I got to travel to Chile and designed a whole range of department stores in South America, and it was a great love of traveling and designing, but I think retail design is fundamental to auto shows. It's really, really important. And after 10 years, I ended up here. I was the in-house retail design manager for Harrods. Those of you that know Harrods, excuse me, know that it's an incredibly luxurious, prestigious landmark. It's an experience destination for people that want to shop. But most importantly, they've cracked the code that if you're having an amazing experience, you'll pay more. And that's the fundamental element of what they're doing here. They create these incredible interiors and incredible experiences because customers will just literally pay more to be part of it and be part of that experience. And I learned 3 things at Harrods. You couldn't get a project signed off unless it had a business plan. Most designers can work to a budget, but very, very few designers know how to work to a profit and a return on investment. And it's something that stood me in great stead for the rest of my career, because it's really important. You've got to have a creative vision, but you've got to have a sense of what that return on investment is. The other thing is customer psychology, customer behavior. We were taught never to go up to a customer, never to ask them anything, just create eye contact so that they know you're there and you're there for them. But the other thing, you can't tell how rich somebody is. They can be wearing jeans and a t-shirt, but driving a Lamborghini, and that's really important. So we learn to check out their shoes and their watch. Those are the absolute telltale signs of how rich somebody really is. So super cool Mate, super cool pair of sneakers and a great watch is a great tell for somebody who's got some money to spend. Sorry, I'm going to go back one. I learned 2 other things. Sorry, one other thing. I learned that I'd reached a point where there was nothing else to do for me in retail. I'd done everything I wanted to do, and I thought there must be something more. How can I take this and evolve it into another career? And something was happening because it was around the year 2000. Everybody wanted corporate identity, but everybody wanted what this company was selling. And it took me ages to find this picture. It was called the Imagination Book. And every designer had this book to create mood boards and references. They did another book and it was called Experience. Because experience didn't really exist, or we didn't know them as experiences. And designers were in silos of interior design, graphic design. And Imagination had this idea that creative director could do all of those things, or at least have a point of view in order to create amazing experiences. And you'll see down there, one of the pictures is of a Ford engine display. That was the first project they ever did. And they built a multi-million-pound business off the back of that one display. I mean, it must have been good. But they did a great job, and they persuaded the UK government to build this exhibition for the year 2000. And they put the team together that built the whole thing. It was called the Millennium Dome. And as a designer, we knew it was going on, and I knew I wanted to be part of it. So I contacted them, I got an interview, I went to see them. They thought I was pretty bizarre because I had this commercial understanding, and I used this term, return on investment, and they'd never heard of it before. And they thought it was absolutely fascinating. And me and probably 200 other designers went to work at this place. And we all became experiential designers. So we moved on. And even the building that we worked in was experiential. This was their Christmas decorations. We had to share desks because it was so busy with designers building the experience inside that dome. And it was truly blew my mind. But they had another plan for me because they wanted me to do a project for Ford Retail. And over the next couple of years, I designed all the point of sale, all the corporate identity and the signage, all the furniture, and then the actual building itself. And I still drive past a Ford dealership 20 years later that looks like that. And it's, I think back, I think about my dad driving Fords, I think about learning about retail, the love for cars, and it's all starting to come together. But Ford, you'll remember, owned a lot of brands back when Jack Nasser had the PAG group, and they owned Aston Martin as well. So then they said, well, use your luxury brand experience and design these guys a program. And I designed probably the first 12 dozen around the world, but I couldn't design them all. So I had to create some visual standards that other architects and designers could follow. And that's a difficult task because you've got to give them enough rope to allow them to be creative, but you've got to be able to see your own design in it. So I learned a new skill doing that as well. And it was wonderful. Who doesn't want to design amazing Aston Martin showrooms? But they had another plan for me, and it was slightly bigger. They wanted me to run the For Europe Auto Show program. And this is around, I'm going to say about 2004. The guy before me was running Ford Europe and Mazda Europe, had a nervous breakdown. So it wasn't a great auspicious start to fill his shoes because it was really intense. And we were designing, this is probably the heyday of European auto shows. I designed auto shows in Norway, in the southern Spain, in Moscow, and in Ireland. I think we designed auto shows in every single country, and that's where I really cut my teeth. Some of those ones I'm looking at down there at Geneva and Paris, so some of the bigger ones. A great experience. And after 2 years, they had another plan for me, and that was to basically then manage every single Ford Motor Company brand across every single major auto show in the world. I did that for 2 years. You can remember Ford owned Lincoln, Mercury, Aston, Land Rover, Jaguar, Volvo, and Mazda. I didn't design all those, but I was responsible for coordinating. I did design Ford, I did design Jaguar, and I did design Land Rover. There were other agencies, but my job was to bring them all together. First to Detroit in January. It was an amazing show. I went to the first show in 2006. And then take it to Geneva, which is in March. Another huge media show. Then we would go to China and either do Beijing or Shanghai. Then we'd come back to Europe and either do Paris and Frankfurt. And then we would go and do Tokyo at the end of the year again, and then go back to Detroit and do it all over again. I had hair before I started that project. It was so unbelievably challenging, I can't tell you.